Baltimore ended 2024 with its lowest number of homicides in nearly a decade. The milestone has city leaders looking forward.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's cause for us to acknowledge the progress and know how much further we can go.
This morning, we sit down with Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, his goals for the city in 2025 and beyond. Plus, the city state's attorney's office is a key partner in this crime fight, the success the office wants to build on in the coming year.
He was the same person no matter who he was with or where he was.
And saying goodbye to our nation's 39th president. Our former president Jimmy Carter's time at the Naval Academy impacted his role as commander-in-chief. That's all this morning on 11 TV Hill. And hi everyone, I'm Jason Newton. Welcome to 11 TV Hill. 2024 marked Baltimore's second lowest number of homicides in over more than 4 decades. It's an achievement Mayor Brandon Scott hopes to build on this year. This morning, we discuss why the mayor doesn't want this to be a cause for celebration just yet, plus what the city is doing to protect itself from potential threats like the attack in New Orleans. Joining us now is Mayor Brandon Scott. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, sir.
They said it was overambitious, some of the numbers that you had for the crime numbers, especially the homicide numbers. It seems like coming out of 2024, we did okay.
Yeah, listen, we're talking about another year where we have a historic drop in violence in Baltimore City. A 23% drop in homicides, 201 versus the 261 that we had in 2024. And that 20% drop at the time was the largest ever. And we're talking about now a 40% reduction in homicides over 2 years. And we're very happy about that. But non-fatal shootings were down 34%. Carjackings were down. Robberies are down.
Yeah.
Burglars are down, auto thefts are down. Everything's going in the right direction as we continue implementation of my comprehensive violence reduction strategy that we laid out in 2021.
The commissioner used a word that I thought was impressive that I think it says a lot about this program, was trust.
Yeah.
He said the police department did not have that for years, and he feels like that's changed. So what do you think the difference is within communities that they will dial 911 or will stop an officer on the street?
Well, I think that, listen, when you think about us thinking about violence as a disease and you think about us attacking it in a comprehensive way, it is that trust that's being rebuilt through reforming the police department, but it's also the growth of our community violence intervention ecosystem, whether that be through Safe Streets or the folks at We Are Us, our hospital-based responders, community leaders leading Citizens on Patrol, the folks that work in our GVRS, our group violence reduction strategy, our Moral Voice partners, helping those who are the most at risk make a better decision and letting them know if they do not, then the police will be removing them from the streets. When you focus it in that way, Jason, every single person in that ecosystem, to our detectives who cleared nearly 70% of homicides last year, which is a big number for them, to our officers on the street who took over 2,500 guns, every community violence worker who intervened in some conflict that could have been violence, right? All of that together. Every assistant state's attorney, every U.S. attorney, every person in the Attorney General's office that prosecuted those cases that we gave to them from the police department's great work to make sure that they are having better success because they have stronger cases. Everyone working together is how we've been able to achieve this, and we just want to keep it going because this isn't cause for celebration. Right. It's cause for us to acknowledge the progress and know how much further we can go.
Something that will remain under the microscope, I think, is young people. I think that some people, I think it will still be a focus because they had been some of our perpetrators of crime. And I think that there's some wraparound services, like you say. Going into 2025, what can we do to at least keep an eye on our young people? Well,
we have to continue that work as well, right?
Yeah.
And we have to understand that also remember that in the prior few years, they were also a high level of victims. We had a 74% reduction in young people being the victim of shootings and homicides in the city of Baltimore in 2024, right? We have to continue our partnership. Our job here at the city, Jason, when it comes to enforcing law is to do just that, to enforce it and work with our partners at the state and the governor and DJS who have been putting things in place to improve. We have new laws that just went into effect a few months ago around how the state wants to deal with juveniles and folks that are on home monitoring. We're going to keep working with our state partners to make sure that the administrative things from those new policies are implemented and having an impact, but we will not change our focus. We're going to continue to focus in on young people. We just announced how we're doing our school-based violence intervention work that we're going to be expanding throughout the city of Baltimore, starting in those high schools and working with our partners at the state state to fill gaps and work with them to give any assistance that they need as they're dealing with these kids who are coming through the juvenile system.
And I know parents right now looking at YouthWorks application right now.
Yeah,
It's a
open.
rush. It's always
open.
a rush too.
It's open. We posted it. The
What's up?
YouthWorks application is open. It's actually been shared on my Instagram account
Yeah.
1,000 times over
Really?
already. So please apply. We want every young person from the age of 14 to get a job this summer, but you have to apply now. Don't apply after the deadline. The answer is going to be no.
Yeah, there will be, and a strong no at that. Tell me about what cities across the country are doing right now as they all look at New Orleans. I think there are learnable things that some cities can do. There are other things that are just up to chance.
Yeah, I think that we always have to be prepared. And for us, obviously, Jason, we've been through enough tragedy to know that anything can and will happen. And that's why you consistently have your law enforcement and other agencies doing tabletop exercises and talking about that, and then also being prepared. We have a lot of large events, just like they do in New Orleans. We have Ravens games, obviously. Hope to have a bunch more as we go forward in the playoffs. But you just have to be prepared and making sure that everybody knows that it's working from a city standpoint, that anything can happen. But that's also when you hear folks complain about some of the things, like for fireworks, when they complain about why I had dump trucks blocking streets and why we have hard barriers and people can't go down certain roads. This is why we have to be, when you have these large scale events, you have to make sure as much as you can do in your human power to make sure that people are safe and trying to prevent things from happening, but understanding that you can see tragedies like this, which just is unthinkable, and our hearts and minds go out to all of those victims.
And one more thing, I want you to give out at least a warning or at least tips to folks as we get into winter and deep in it. We know that fire is something that we're dealing with. We've had some tragic ones lately. Just remind folks some tips to make sure we get out of this season safely.
First, no one in the city of Baltimore should not have a working fire alarm. If you're watching 11 TV Hill, check your fire alarm right now. Your smoke detectors, and if they are not working, simply just call 311 and the fire department will come put it in for you for the price of free $99, right? Everyone should also have a fire safety plan. Working through that with your family, including your children, about what to do in the event of fire and how you guys will work that, where you'll meet up, where they go and exit, all of those kind of things, because many of these things can be prevented. Also, when you think about things that you shouldn't have, right? These space heaters and stuff that you're leaving plugged up the wrong way. Down in your furnace room, you should not have a bunch of paper and boxes in that vicinity. Things like that you can do to protect your families, but everyone should have a working smoke alarm.
All right, good to see you, sir. Thanks
Yes,
for coming
sir.
by.
Thank you very much.
Take care.